Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Mayur Jain. I am a junior cardiac surgeon at PD Hinduja Hospital, Mahi. We'll start with heart attack and sudden cardiac arrest in young population. Normally, people use this terminology as one and the same. However, they are two different things. Cardiac arrest is an electrical problem, whereas a heart attack is a circulation problem. Now, coming to what is heart attack? Heart attack occurs when blood flow to the heart is blocked. The blockage is most often is buildup of fat, cholesterol, and other substances which form a plaque. In lay terminology, you can consider it as a cement in the arteries that feed the heart. A blocked artery prevents oxygen-rich, that is good blood, from reaching the heart muscles, which causes damage to the heart muscle. If you can see, this is how in the diagram, this is how a plaque is formed, which does not allow blood to flow. In this purple part, we are seeing that the heart muscle is damaged. Now, symptoms of heart attack: shortness of breath, chest pain, nausea, vomiting, anxiety, sweating, and dizziness. These are common symptoms which suggest of heart attack. There are some other symptoms such as tiredness, having epigastric fullness after meals, or jaw pain after meals is also an indication of a heart disease. Now, coming to what is cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest occurs when the heart has stopped pumping blood effectively. This usually because of the electrical signals in the heart which have gone wrong. The heart's electrical system controls the rate and rhythm of your heartbeat. If something goes wrong, your heart can beat too fast or too slow or irregular, which we call as arrhythmias. Often these arrhythmias are brief and harmless, but sometimes can lead to sudden cardiac arrest. Sudden cardiac arrest is not same as heart attack. However, a heart attack can sometimes trigger an electrical disturbances that lead to cardiac arrest. Now, symptoms of cardiac arrest. Immediate and drastic signs and symptoms include sudden collapse, no pulse, no breathing, loss of consciousness. Now, just highlighting the difference between the sudden cardiac arrest victim and a heart attack victim. In a sudden cardiac arrest, patient will be unresponsive, will not breathe normally, the heart will be stopped and will need CPR or an AED. Whereas a heart attack victim will be responding, will breathe heavily or normally. Heart is beating and doesn't need a CPR or AED. Other signs and symptoms that can occur before sudden cardiac arrest include chest discomfort, shortness of breath, weakness, fast beating, fluttering or pounding heart, known as palpitations. Palpitations means a patient is being aware of his heartbeat. But sudden cardiac arrest often occurs without warning. Heart conditions that can lead to sudden cardiac arrest, as I told, can happen in people who have no known heart disease. However, a life-threatening arrhythmia usually develops in a person with a pre-existing, possibly undiagnosed heart condition. These conditions include heart attack. Often as a result of severe coronary artery disease, it can trigger ventricular fibrillation, which can lead to sudden cardiac arrest. Also, a heart attack can leave scar tissue in your heart, which can cause abnormalities in your rhythm. Enlarged heart, we call as cardiomyopathy. This occurs primarily when your heart muscle wall stretches and enlarges or thickens. Then your heart muscle is abnormal, a condition that often leads to arrhythmias, that is irregular heartbeat. Valvular heart disease, leaking or narrowing of your heart valves can lead to stretching or thickening of your heart muscle. When the chambers become enlarged or weakened because of stress caused by a tight or a leaking valve, there is an increased risk of developing arrhythmias. In the picture, you can see the right-sided heart are called as tricuspid valve and the pulmonary valve, and the left-sided valve is the mitral valve and the aortic valve. Generally, the disease is seen in aortic and mitral valve. Heart defect present at birth, that is congenital heart disease. So when sudden cardiac arrest occurs in children or adolescents, it can be due to congenital heart disease. Adults who had corrective surgery for a congenital heart defect can have a higher risk of sudden cardiac arrest. Electrical problems in the heart. In some people, the problem is in the heart's electrical system itself instead of a problem with the heart muscle or valve. These are primary heart rhythm abnormalities and includes conditions such as long QT syndrome. Key risk factors of having cardiac arrest at a young age. Lack of physical activity. Being inactive contributes to high blood cholesterol levels and obesity. Now we have more and more sedentary jobs and requires less physical activities than in past decades. Increased screen time also has contributed how much we move. People who exercise regularly have better heart health, including low blood pressure. Tobacco. Tobacco in all forms is dangerous for the heart. This includes smoking or chewing and long-term exposure to secondhand smoke. Illicit drug use. Using stimulant drugs such as cocaine, amphetamine can trigger a spasm of your coronary arteries that can cause a heart attack. Stress. You might respond to stress in ways that can increase your risk of heart attack. However, we are all under stress always. High blood pressure. High blood pressure can damage your coronary arteries in such a way that will increase the chance of a heart attack. High blood cholesterol or triglycerides. A high level of low density lipoprotein, also known as bad cholesterol, is most likely to narrow arteries. A high level of triglyceride, a type of blood fat related to your diet, increases the risk of attack. And a higher level of high density lipid profile, high density lipoprotein, that is HDL cholesterol, which is also known as good cholesterol, lowers the risk of heart disease. Obesity. Obesity is linked with high blood cholesterol levels, high triglyceride levels, and high blood pressure. All these contribute to heart disease. Diabetes, that is not producing enough of hormone secreted by your pancreas, the insulin, or not responding to insulin properly causes your blood sugars level to rise, which increase the chance of a heart attack. Metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome occurs when you have obesity, high blood pressure, high sugar level. All these contribute to develop heart disease, which is twofold than in normal people. A history of preeclampsia. This condition causes high blood pressure during pregnancy. It increases the lifetime risk of heart disease. Autoimmune disease. Having a condition such as rheumatoid arthritis and lupus can increase your risk of heart attack. COVID-19 infection, the new addition to the list. Infection with COVID-19 also may damage your heart in many ways that results in heart attack. Now coming to diagnostic tests. As doctors, what tests we do to diagnose a heart attack or a heart disease? Electrocardiogram, commonly known as ECG. It is the first test done to diagnose a heart attack. It records electrical signals as they pass through your heart. Because injured heart muscle doesn't conduct electrical impulses normally, this will show that heart attack has occurred or is in progress. Blood test. Whenever the heart is damaged, heart secretes certain proteins slowly into your blood, which emergency room doctors will detect when they check your blood. This is commonly known as CPK-MB, TROP-I, and TROP-T. Stress test, also called as an exercise stress test, shows how your heart works during a physical activity. Because exercise makes your heart pump harder and faster, an exercise stress test can reveal the problems with the blood flow within your heart. Echocardiogram, commonly known as 2D echo. Here the sound waves, that is ultrasound, create images of moving heart. Your doctor can use this test to see how your heart chambers and valves are pumping blood through your heart. An echocardiogram can help identify whether the area of your heart has been damaged or not. Coronary angiogram. This is commonly known as coronary angiography or angio. A liquid dye is injected into the arteries of your heart through a long thin tube, which is known as catheter, into your arteries of the heart. The dye makes the arteries visible on X-ray, revealing the areas of blockage. This is still the gold standard for diagnosis of coronary artery disease. Now coming to the problems what we normally face and normal questions. Can ECG be normal if heart problem is there? Yes, as it represents only 20% of your activity. Can 2D echo be normal if there is blockage in heart arteries? Definitely yes, as it shows heart and heart valve function, but not the function of the arteries. It can diagnose heart attack if the heart muscle is damaged. It won't diagnose heart attack if the muscle is not damaged. Therefore, don't be complacent if these tests are normal. Strong family history. Your hereditary risk of heart disease is defined as having a first degree relative like a father, brother, or son under the age of 55 with heart attack history, or a first degree relative like your mother, sister, or daughter under the age of 65 with a heart attack history. Therefore, it is imperative that you undergo regular checkups, including 2D echo, ECG, lipid profile, and stress tests every year. If any symptoms such as breathlessness or chest pain, please do not neglect and consult your doctor. Please do not do investigations on your own if you have any symptoms, because some tests can damage your heart. Primordial prevention. How early is early enough? This means trying to prevent the progression of the heart attack risk factors. Heart attack and cardiac arrest can happen to anyone, but the risk is especially high when genetics come into play. Primordial prevention is crucial for those with a family history of heart disease. Hence, when we are talking about young people having heart attacks, it is important to individualize the discussion based on risk factors. For those that have a genetic risk, it is critical to engage in your health and to speak with your doctor early. Primordial prevention also includes trying to change the social and the environmental conditions that could develop and progress risk factor. These things we have control over, such as exercise. We all know that regular exercise helps our heart muscle to function better. At least a moderate exercise of 150 minutes or 75 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity in a week will help to reduce the chance of heart attack. Maintain a healthy weight. Excess weight strains your heart and contribute to high cholesterol, blood pressure, and diabetes. So try to maintain your weight. Eat a healthy diet. Saturated fat, trans fat, and cholesterol in your diet can narrow your arteries to the heart, and too much salt can raise your blood pressure. Eat a heart healthy diet that includes lean proteins such as fish, beans, and fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Commonly question asked is which type of oil we can use. You can use polyunsaturated fatty acids, oil containing such as sunflower oils. Please do not use coconut oil or groundnut oil for your cooking. Manage diabetes. Regular exercise, in eating well, and losing weight all help to keep your blood sugar levels at a more desirable level and hence prevent heart disease. Coming to next point, avoid smoking. The most important thing that you can do to improve your heart health is not to smoke. Also avoid being around secondhand smoke. Tobacco in all forms is dangerous for your heart. If you need to quit, ask the doctor for help. Avoid or limit alcohol. If you choose to drink alcohol, do it in moderation. Control stress. Reduce stress in your day-to-day activities. Rethink workaholic habits and healthy ways to minimize or deal with stressful events in your life. Control your blood pressure and cholesterol level. If one or both these are high, you can change your diet and the doctor can ask some lifestyle modifications and medication which help you to control the blood pressure and cholesterol level. Get regular medical checkups. Some of the major risks for heart attack, high blood cholesterol level, high blood pressure, and diabetes cause no symptoms early on. Your doctor can detect these conditions at early and help to manage if necessary. Now, treatment options for a cardiac heart problem. Medical management, where the doctors prescribe medical medicines to prevent coronary artery blockages such as blood thinners, lipid lowering agents. Coronary angioplasty, when the heart arteries are blocked, angioplasty can be done to release the obstruction. Coronary artery bypass grafting, this helps to improve the blood circulation to your blocked arteries by putting new arteries on the diseased arteries. Valve replacement for damaged valves if required. Coming to what to do when you have chest pain. Whenever you have chest pain, go to a nearby hospital as early as possible, and on the way, give tablets Sorbitrate sublingually and repeat if chest pain is not relieved. Why it is important to go to hospital as early as possible? First 3 hours are very important. This is called the golden period. If you receive injectable blood thinner thrombolizing agent, your heart can be saved from major damage. Even in this first 3 hours, we can do emergency angioplasty, which will help to prevent major damage to your heart. Once stabilized, you can do further investigations. Now coming to treatment of sudden cardiac arrest. Sudden cardiac arrest requires immediate action for survival. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Immediate CPR is crucial for treating patients with sudden cardiac arrest. By maintaining a flow of oxygen-rich blood flow to the body's vital organs, CPR can provide a vital link until more advanced emergency care is available. If you don't do no CPR and someone collapses near you, call for emergency help as early as possible. If the person is not breathing, begin pushing hard and fast on the person's chest at the rate of 100 to 120 compressions a minute, allowing the chest to fully rise between compression. Do this until an automated external defibrillator, commonly known as AED, becomes available or emergency personnel arrive. Defibrillation. Advanced care for ventricular fibrillation, a type of arrhythmia that is irregular heartbeat that can cause sudden heart arrest. Generally includes delivery of an electrical shock through the chest wall to the heart. The procedure called defibrillation momentarily stops the heart and the chaotic rhythm. This often allows the normal heart rhythm to resume. Defibrillators are programmed to recognize ventricular fibrillation and send a shock only when it's appropriate. These portable defibrillators, such as AED, are increasingly available in public places, including airports, shopping malls, health clubs, senior citizen centers. Take home message for the young population who are at risk of heart disease. Even if you are young, don't neglect symptoms suggestive of heart disease. People with strong family history should be vigilant and do all the tests pertaining to heart, and if advised by a doctor, do angiography. Avoid tobacco in all forms, control diabetes, eat healthy, and exercise. Everyone should learn CPR. It could be life-saving if done properly. At last, don't tweak your lifestyle, but tweak your lifestyle towards a healthy heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much, doctor. I think now we can just take question answers.
Yeah, sure.
So, the first question is, what causes heart attacks at a young age?
So, as there are many factors which play a role for heart attack in young people. The most important factors is family history. Those young generation who have a heart disease in their family history, in their family, have a high propensity of heart attacks. Secondly, tobacco use. Tobacco in all forms, as I mentioned, can damage your age. Now, everybody is, we are all under stress. This also contribute to your heart disease. Diabetes also is a major factor which plays important role in the disease process of the heart. So these are the factors which are responsible for heart attack. Heart attack.
Okay, the next question is,
Yes.
um, any specific test to check heart health at the age of 32?
So at the age of 32, so normally what we do is we ask the patient for history of diabetes, hyperlipidemia, that is high cholesterol level, or a family history of heart disease. So if anything is positive in this at 32, we'll ask them to do 2D echo, ECG, lipid profile, chest X-ray. If any abnormality is detected, we do stress test to rule out coronary artery disease.
Okay, the next question is, how to know if chest pain in the early stages because of heart attack and not something else like acidity, etc.?
So whenever you have doubt, you consider it as to be a heart disease. So try to reach to a hospital as early as possible. So this will help a doctor to diagnose whether this is a heart attack or epigastric pain. Many patients with heart disease have only epigastric pain. So never neglect the symptoms which are pertaining to your heart.
The next question is, I had an heart attack and already मुझे 2 stents लगे हुए हैं. अभी दूसरी नस में 70% ब्लॉकेज आए हैं तो क्या करना चाहिए?
सो 70% ब्लॉकेज है, पहले तो ये देखना चाहिए कि आपको कोई तकलीफ हो रही है और वो कौन से नस में 70% ब्लॉक है, ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट है। वो कोई मेन नस है तो उसका इलाज करना पड़ेगा। अगर वो मेन नस नहीं है, उसके आजू बाजू में कोई दूसरा नस है, तो वो देखना पड़ेगा। ये ऐसे आप नहीं बता पाएंगे, जब तक आप एंजियोग्राफी नहीं देखेंगे तब तक हम बता नहीं पाएंगे कि इसमें कुछ करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए।
The next question is, can acidity also cause heart attack or damage heart?
No, acidity does not cause any damage to your heart.
Uh, Next question is, is it advisable to do the treadmill test beyond the age of 50 years?
So if your 2D echo is normal, you then you should go for a stress test. There is no age factor for doing a 2D stress test, except that you have a history of heart attack or you have a family history of heart disease, or your lipid profile is very haywire. Then you first control the lipid levels and then do the stress test.
The next question is, you mentioned couple of medicines for emergency. Can you
Yes.
name the medicine again?
So emergency medications, what easily available is tablet sorbitrate. Whenever you have chest pain, you just take it sublingually. This will cause no harm except little bit of headache. Even if this pain is not heart attack, it may prevent damage to your heart if it is a heart attack. Second is blood thinners, but which we will not prescribe, which you should not take unless a doctor prescribes it to you.
The next question is, what is a normal pulse rate? Is having a low or high pulse rate dangerous to heart?
It depends. Is there any disease causing these things? If you see many people who do regular exercise, they have a pulse rate which is less than normal, but it is normal. Some people have a tendency to have high rate. Normal pulse rate is between 70 to 90. Anything lower than this or beyond this, you should see a doctor to see is there any disease process or something else is causing this to happen.
Okay, if breathlessness and dry cough can be related to heart disease?
Definitely, yes. Breathlessness and dry cough, especially at night, is known to have heart problems. So you should consult your doctors if any of these symptoms are there.
A healthy man with good diet and exercise, what is a possible cause for heart attack?
So as I mentioned, young people who have a strong family history are more prone to heart attack. And second contributor factor is the level of stress. If you are in too much stress, the enzymes in your body secretes adrenaline, which increases your heart rate and blood pressure, which can lead to heart attacks.
Okay, now someone is asking about his personal experience. At the age of 28, he gets left side chest muscle cramps sometimes, and
Mhm.
when sneezing or laughing loud, it pains. Sleeplessness at night, sometimes gets anxious. He
Mhm.
has done stress test during which it showed high blood pressure, but at present it is normal. So what can be the reason?
So when you went for a stress test, your blood pressure was high. So you first reduce your blood pressure. Then again, if you have a family history, do the stress test again. I advise that you do the stress test again once your blood pressure is under control.
The next question is, which COVID vaccination should be preferred for a person with angioplasty at the age of 65? Currently, blood thinners are taken.
So there is no contraindication if you take blood thinners for COVID vaccine. And whichever COVID vaccine you take, it is okay. Both are equally efficient in preventing COVID infection. And even if you get COVID infection, it will be in mild form.
Okay, do mental stress plays a role for heart attack?
Yes, it definitely plays a role for heart attack. As I mentioned, mental stress increases stress hormone in your body, which is known as adrenaline, which causes your heart rate and blood pressure to rise. Even it is known that acute emotional stress also can cause an heart attack.
Okay, next question is, should youngsters do these tests regularly without any symptoms just to keep things in check?
So it depends upon what is your age. So at 25, if you ask me, I will tell them to do a cholesterol screening if they have a family history. If not, then do at 30. However, after 30, one should do cholesterol screening, diabetes screening on regular basis, at least 5 yearly basis. If it is normal, if it is abnormal, do every yearly. And after the age of 35, do a stress test, do lipid profile, ECG, chest X-ray, and if they are normal, do every 5 yearly, and if there is a family history, do it every yearly.
Okay, the next question is, role of nitrodrome patch in a man having complaint of chest pain and history of angioplasty a decade back.
So this is a treatment to elevate the symptom of chest pain. So generally speaking, if the patient is continuously on nitrodrome patch, then they should undergo an angiography, repeat angiography, see is there any new blockages or the stents are working properly or not.
Okay. The next question is there a link between post-COVID recovery and heart attacks?
We all know that COVID infection can causes clots in your blood vessels. Similarly, it can cause clots in your heart vessels, so which can lead to heart attack or coronary artery disease.
Okay. Someone is asking, why are these deaths happening in people who exercise and eat healthy too?
So there are many factors. Nowadays, young people do exercise, but sometimes they overdo. They use performance enhancing drugs, which can lead to high blood pressure, increase the heart rate, and can cause attack. Mental stress also comes to play a major role when it comes to young population, because nowadays everybody is under stress, so they should do something which relieves their stress so that the risk of heart attacks are less.
Okay. Can irregular heartbeat go away on its own if it has occurred once at the age of 10?
So it depends what was the irregularity. There are many heart rhythm irregularities. It could be just a simple heart rate which went up and it came down. So we need to investigate if the symptoms occur again and again. One episode may not be suggestive of heart problem.
The next question is, what is the life of a stent and what are the precautions to be taken?
So life of stent, it can last from 2 years to 20 years, but it depends upon what precautions you take. You take your blood thinners regularly, you take your lipid lowering drugs regularly, do moderate exercise, and whenever symptoms, please consult your doctors.
All right, doctor, we'll take a last question for today.
Yeah, sure.
Are annual checkups a must for adults between 20 to 39 years of age?
So 20 to 30, those who have a strong family history should consult the cardiologist and do a regular follow-up with them. So 20s and 30s is a very young age to develop a heart disease. But however, we have seen that this can occur. So it is rather better to be safe. So consult a cardiologist. If you have a family history, do your regular annual checkups of cholesterol, diabetes, blood pressure, get your physician to check your blood pressure regularly.
All right, doctor, just last question for the day. What is the difference between gastric trouble and heart related irritation?
So gastric trouble and heart related irritation. So heart related irritation is generally when you eat, you will feel a lot of chest discomfort, tightness in the chest, whereas epigastric, it is purely, it is the lower abdomen which have pain and you may have bloating sensation.
Okay, thank you so much, doctor. And whoever is asking, okay, they need a recorded version of this. So, in some time, it will be available on our Hinduja Hospital social media platforms. And if you want to take appointment of Dr. Mayur Jain, you can log in on our website www.hindujahospital.com. Thank you so much, doctor, for such an informative session.
Thank you.